Hey everybody, I'm Adam and I just saw Kong, Skull Island, and I'm confused. It wasn't a good movie, but it also wasn't a bad movie. I really don't know what this movie was. And if I'm honest, I don't think this movie knew what it was either. This movie is actually a lot of different things combined. It's kind of like Apocalypse Now, Jurassic Park, Platoon, Moby Dick, the show Lost, and Man of Steel. Let me explain. Apocalypse Now and Platoon are Vietnam War films, and Kong takes place in 1973 at the very tail end of the Vietnam War. So there's lots of really artsy, epic, slow-mo war battle shots in this movie, which are cool, but are immediately undercut by a giant CG gorilla. Kong is like Jurassic Park because it's the same damn movie. There are people who want to get off an island that houses ancient creatures that are trying to eat them. The movie is a lot like Lost in that it takes place on a special magical island that no one can get to. And the only way there is to pretty much just kind of crash land on it. And when you do, everyone says the same thing. Where are we? That is right, Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Samuel L. Jackson is basically channeling Captain Ahab hunting his white whale, or in this case, a black gorilla, so there's your Moby Dick reference. And it's like Man of Steel in that this movie is supposed to set up the new King Kong versus Godzilla crossover universe. And like Man of Steel, it does a piss-poor job of doing it. Oh, and our titular character here is really only in it for 15 minutes, and that is kind of being generous. It's a lot like those Alien vs. Predator movies. Remember those? It's like, yeah, Alien vs. Predator. This is going to be awesome. But what those movies turned out to be was, oh yeah, aliens versus predators versus humans. Woo! But those movies, the humans didn't really matter. They were just cannon fodder. Well, it's the same thing in this movie. Except this time, instead of scientists in Antarctica or a town of Midwestern people, we're following a bunch of American soldiers that are at the very tail end of the Vietnam War. In fact, they were 1 day away from going home. 1 freaking day. And it's a cheap ploy by this movie to try to garner sympathy and support from the audience to this bunch of red shirts that even though we don't know their name, we're going to care about when they die. And we don't at all. Even the few characters we actually get their names, not that I could remember any of them, I couldn't tell you any of these characters' names, we're supposed to care about them. We truly don't. Kong is the last of his kind. Actually, it's a story point in the movie, but also he truly is the last of his kind because, how do I put this gently? Kong is like a Ken doll. He's very smooth down, well, not smooth, he's very hairy, very extremely hairy, but just, there's nothing going on downstairs. There's a whole lot of, Kong's not anatomically correct. Let's put it that way. So, Kong will not be having any little Diddy Kongs at some point in the future. And speaking of CG monsters, this movie is full of them. The problem is, we don't really care about any of them. They're just obstacles to overcome. They don't even have names. And the thing is, they're just like larger versions of things we already know. Like, oh, it's a giant stick bug. Oh no, oh no! So let's talk about the big bads in the movie, shall we? It's these horrible underground bipedal reptile thingies. I don't know, it doesn't seem like they would work physically in the real world. Anyways, I obtained some footage from the final battle of this movie that you won't see anywhere else. Here it is. Yep, that is Donkey Kong Country. That's exactly what this movie is. The final fight scene, this is actually funny, the final fight scene in this movie takes place on a bunch of old shipwrecked galleons and pirate ships. So this is actually basically the final fight of the movie. I'm not kidding, this is what happens. Kong Skull Island, heavily borrowed from Donkey Kong Country. At this point, I usually spoil the hell out of the movie, but in Kong, there's really nothing to spoil. There's really nothing going on. I mean, I know I said a couple little spoilers before, but like, there is really a whole nothing going on in this movie. So, I mean, if you want to go see it, sure, okay. I mean, matinee prices, definitely. But, I mean, if you want to see it, I would suggest just going to see Jurassic Park 1 or 2 again. Those are a lot better. Even though I know the girl swings on the bar a couple of times and kicks a raptor, that part is better than what happens in Kong. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Also, as always, here's some fun things you can watch on YouTube right now. And there's a couple of really fun movies coming out soon, so there's going to be a couple of really fun reviews coming out soon after that. So until then, I'll see you guys later.